All right, today I am going to be looking at the somewhat new pistol from Elite Force and Modify, and this is called the Trinity, sorry, I'm not good at talking. This is essentially a like a sort of pre-upgraded Hi-Capa, essentially, and I'm gonna just kind of go over everything there is that you need to know about this replica, and then also give some of my thoughts and opinions and general overview, that sort of thing, on this, right? So really quickly, before I start talking about anything, I do think that this is a good pistol for people who want to have just a bone stock pistol that works really good out of the box. Also, if you have a couple minor upgrades that you may want to do, I think this is also a very good option. If you want to go crazy with building a gun, this might not be the best option, but it can work for anybody. It just is you may need to do some more things than you would probably want to do, I guess. Like if you want to upgrade one thing, you may need to upgrade a couple other things at the same time, is what I'm trying to say. Let's get into it. The nice thing that this gun comes with is it comes with a compatibility chart, which is pretty sick. I don't think I have seen any other company do this before. Now, it may be a little bit hard to understand what some of these things mean on here, but hopefully I will be able to go over this with you, right? Hopefully you got a picture of that. If I can't read it when I edit this, I will just post up a picture on the screen. Now, essentially, the biggest deal things that are not compatible, I will go over with. The first one is not very major. It is the slide. The slide and the iron sights are specific to each other. You cannot put different iron sights on the slide, and you cannot put a different slide on the iron sights. The iron sights and the slide are together. There's no changing that. However, internally, anything will fit, essentially. So any Tokyo Marui parts will fit inside of this slide. Or you could take all of these parts and put them into a Tokyo Marui or aftermarket slide. So hopefully you understand that. It's not crazy. It is just a tiny thing. I do think this is a decently good slide, and I'll weigh it for you guys later. The biggest deal about this is going to be what I believe is called Group 1. So they have actually a whole separate section for this Group 1. Now this Group 1 is essentially basically the lower of the gun, essentially. So any of the parts that I'm about to list off, if you change one, you have to change them all. So it's going to be your frame, slide catch, thumb safety, grip safety, hop-up chamber, and outer barrel. If you change any one of those things, you have to change all of those that I just listed. So that's basically what this is saying when it says interchangeable with Group 1. You have to change out all of that stuff at the same time, essentially. And I will sort of go over why that is in a little bit, because it is sort of, it is due to their innovation. So most companies, if they have something that's not compatible, it's because they're trying to innovate, and I think that innovation is a very good thing. So we need to not be upset when people make stuff that is not completely compatible, because usually there's a reason, and usually it's a good reason. And I'll show you what the innovation is as we go along in this video. Also, the grip and the magazine release. This is it doesn't have a name on here, like how there's Group 1, but essentially this is another group. If you change one of these, you have to change both. So if you change the grip, you have to also change the magazine release, or vice versa. If you change the magazine release, you have to change the grip as well. This is because the magazine release is just a little bit different shape than what they typically are. But personally, I do think that this is a very nice grip out of the box. So I personally don't see any reason to change this, but if you want to, you can. You just have to change both, all right? So I hope that kind of covered the compatibility for you guys. I don't think I forgot anything, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything as far as compatibility is concerned. So we can go into the actual video here. I forgot the magazine. Let me go grab the magazine real quick. All right, so here we have the magazine. Now this is essentially a factory, like, tiny bit extended magazine, so it's a little bit longer than a typical Hi-Capa magazine. I think this looks extremely cool being that length. I have done this sort of thing in the past with some of my pistols where I have magazines that are a little bit extended with a base pad. I personally, that is my preference as far as looks are concerned with a magazine in the gun. I do even prefer this over having a magazine extension base plate. I prefer having just an extended magazine that's a tiny bit extended with a flat base plate. Personally, that is my personal opinion. Everybody has different opinions as far as how that looks. I can see that a lot of people would prefer to have it flush fit, and that's totally on you. But this is my video. Now this is just pretty standard. It is a similar to normal weight magazine. It is not a lightweight magazine or anything like that. So if I get out a scale here, it's going to be 347 grams. And we can actually compare that to another magazine that was released alongside this gun, which is the Modify lightweight magazine. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's an extended aluminum lightweight magazine. And this is pretty nice. If we put this on the scale, it's 244 grams. So that is significantly less than the standard size magazine that the pistol comes with, which can be a really big deal. Personally, I would hope in the future they have aluminum versions of the normal magazine. They might already. I just don't know. I'm only aware of this one so far, which is the extended lightweight one. I don't know if they have a short lightweight one, but hopefully they do in the future if they don't already have that. We can put this scale away for now. Now that we're done with that, we can get into what the innovation is of this pistol and why some of the parts are not going to be compatible. That is going to be the hop-up system. Has a very unique way of adjusting the hop. So if we go ahead and remove the slide catch, which this pistol is a little bit difficult to remove it because of the little bit different design. You may immediately be able to see that there is a difference. That hole is way bigger than it normally is as far as the slide catch hole. And that is to accommodate the slide catch that has basically an adjustment gear on it, right? And this interfaces with the gear inside the hop-up chamber that adjusts the hop. So essentially with this, you can take your slide catch, pop it out of the gun. Oh, I'm sorry. And then you can put it in upside down. So like right now it's upside down. And you can adjust it back and forth, whatever you want, whatever way you want to, and it will either adjust it up or down, depending which way you turn. And then you can take it back out, and then you can pop it back in real quick. And because it's like cut out on the part where it rests inside the gun while the gun is operational, it's not going to adjust your hop up when the slide catches. You don't need to be worried about that because it is cut out. So you don't have to worry about the hop up adjusting while you shoot. At least if you use it in the stock configuration. So there you go. And as far as the internals, it is essentially, you can put all normal stuff in here. I do believe that the guide rod and the guide rod plug are very high quality. So I see absolutely zero reason to replace the plug and the rod. I think these should stay no matter what, because these are very nice. And then the spring, obviously it's a normal Hi-Capa spring. You can put whatever aftermarket one you want into if you want to increase or decrease the recoil. You can remove the slide, and now you can see the hop-up chamber and outer barrel. Now this gear here is what interfaces again with the slide catch. This is really strong, like how it is. Like you are gonna have a hard time trying to move it with your fingernail, or at least that is the case with mine. So I have absolutely zero, like I don't know what the word is. I'm not worried at all about it moving under fire, because I can't really move it with my fingernail. I have to move it with the lever, because I get extra force on there. So I'm not worried about this moving. If we remove it from the outer barrel, you can see there's a steel Hopup arm, which is nice. It's not as good as like a TDC, for example, but this is going to reduce the sort of like bending over time as it would if you had like a cheaper one, like in a stock Tokyo Marui. Those are kind of cheap, and those can adjust over time. Now it does have a Modify bucking on the inside, which is very nice. Many of you know that Modify makes pretty nice buckings, and this just comes with one out of the box, which is awesome, and it's definitely what you would expect because it is made by Modify, so you would kind of expect it to have a Modify bucking in there. So my recommendation is not to change the bucking, because it is going to be a nice bucking from the factory, which is something that you typically don't see very often. The inner barrel is going to be an aluminum inner barrel, so it definitely will decrease the weight, but it is it's not going to be, at least for me, it's not like my standard for inner barrels is a steel inner barrel. That's what I use in everything. So like personally, I would be replacing this as I go forward with this pistol. But for now, for the review, I just have it how it is, essentially stock. And then the most annoying thing about this pistol is the compatibility of the outer barrels. You cannot put any aftermarket barrel on that uses like a standard TM system or the Airsoft Masterpiece system. It is completely different. So the way it interfaces is it locks into place like so, which is very different from how a TM or a Airsoft Masterpiece does. So like here, for example, I have an Airsoft Masterpiece barrel. This is the wrong length, but it's the same basic system. This cannot really go into place, and obviously that is sort of because of the adjustment. But I wish they would have just copied this cut or made it compatible, and then you might just need to modify the outer barrel to make it work. But right now it is just so far beyond easy modification that it is essentially not a possibility to use an Airsoft Masterpiece outer barrel or an aftermarket outer barrel, except there is I know of one aftermarket barrel that you can use, and other people copy this design. It is the Lilacs 9-ball version of a fixed outer barrel. So these are just straight tubes, and they are held on by set screws. They do not like lock into place like how this one does from the factory, or how like an Airsoft Masterpiece or TM1 does. This one, you literally just have to line it up, and once it's lined up, it just slides into place. It doesn't grab onto anything, except for the grub screws will grab onto the chamber. So me personally, I will be doing this on mine once I am done getting this video. I'm going to be doing this on mine because I want to get rid of the orange tip on the outer barrel. This one, the orange tip, is obviously painted, and I am 99% sure that it is pinned right there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to remove that pin. I think that is just not going to happen, unfortunately. So I'm just going to replace it because I don't want this. I want it to be a little bit shorter than it is, and this just adds length, this is a good deal if you have a tracer unit. But if you're not going to use a tracer unit, there's not really any reason to have one except for like import to United States with the orange tip on it, that sort of thing. We can go to the slide now. So slide, it is an aluminum slide. I'm going to remove the blowback unit here, and then I'll weigh it after that. So this uses essentially like a normal type of blowback unit. You can put whatever aftermarket one that you want into here. Okay. So this uses an O-ring style piston instead of using the cup style. This is definitely a better piston as far as reliability is concerned. You're gonna have less issues with the gun as far as like if the temperature decreases or you forget to oil your gun. It's not gonna be as big of an issue with this design as it is if you have the cup design, which is like what a stock TM has. This is what basically almost all aftermarket ones have, is this O-ring design, which I think is definitely a better choice for most applications, and this is what I use on all of mine. Let's put this back together, and this is just standard spec stuff, so you can put any sort of aftermarket one in that you want to. Now, as far as the slide, this is a very light slide. This is an aluminum slide. It is probably going to compete with most aftermarket aluminum slides. It is very light. If we weigh that, we got a 75 grams is what we're getting to. So pretty light. Obviously, I'm terrible at remembering what a super light slide is, but I think that's pretty light. It's definitely not heavy. I was surprised when I removed all the parts from it at how light this is. We can go ahead and put the blowback unit back in and the barrel back in and that stuff, and I'll get back to you. Ooh, actually, before I do that, I do need to mention that the iron sights in here, so this front sight is screwed on. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. I'm sorry. But there's a screw that screws in and holds the iron sight into place. That screw can easily come out from the factory. So my front sight almost fell off while I was using it, and I'm very lucky that I caught it. So I highly recommend that when you get one of these, you remove that screw, put Loctite on it, and then put it back in and make sure it's tight, just so you don't accidentally lose the front sight. Rear sight, I don't think you will have that issue as much. And this is why it's not really compatible with normal sights. It is just like a straight cut, basically. There's no dovetail. It just kind of sits on top. Now I know that there is charging handles that are compatible with this. So if you want to keep this slide, you can get a charging handle that will function. But from the factory, this one comes with just this rear sight. And you can't use any standard like TM spec rear sights or stuff like that. Okay, now I'm going to show you why they also made it so that way the thumb safety and the grip safety are not compatible with standard TM stuff. So let me remove the thumb safety for you guys. And this is a little bit more difficult than usual on this gun than it is like other Hi-Capas, but it's not crazy. It just is a much snugger fit than what I typically am used to. So the reason why it's different is because it has this part of the back here. So this is like a sleeve with a I believe it's a steel insert in there, essentially, and it looks like this on the inside. I don't know if you can see that, but it's housed within this metal sleeve, and that will just make sure that it stays really tight and they stay together and it doesn't break. Many of you know that one of the biggest weak points on the Hi-Capa is this part. Like, this part is normally kind of flimsy, it doesn't come together very well, and on stock ones often it will break, which they seem to know that, and they've tried to fix that. And by doing so, it has changed the diameter of this piece. So it no longer fits into like a standard grip safety. This is an aftermarket one, but this is up to like standard spec. You cannot put this, it does not fit in the hole, basically, because it's too big. And because of that, the frame also has a larger hole, which means that even if you change out both the grip safety and the thumb safety, it's not going to be good because it's going to be extremely loose. Like I tried it, and it does not stay together very well. So you have to use the included thumb safety and grip safety. There's no way around that unless you change out the frame. But if you change out the frame, you got to change a bunch of other parts in that group 1 that I talked about earlier. Now we can go ahead and put this back together real quick. I don't need to say anything else. I do think that the thumb safety and the grip safety are fine. I personally don't see any real reason to need to change them unless they break or something like that. The only thing I have a problem with is I don't like the writing on this selector switch. So this writing is it's not easy to remove so far. I don't know what type of metal it is. I know it's not aluminum because I tried to darken it the way that I darkened the writing on the slide and the frame, and it was not possible. By the way, the slide and the frame on this gun are both made of aluminum, which is pretty sick. That's not very common on stock guns. Now it is going to be, I believe they're both cast aluminum. They're not CNC machined aluminum, but at least they are aluminum, which is pretty sick. And I do need to mention that I did not pay for this gun. I was sent this gun by Elite Force to take a look at, but obviously I don't really change my opinions just because somebody gives me something for free. My opinions are my opinions, and I hope I try really hard to make sure that I really try not to be fake in my videos. I try to be honest and show exactly what I think and what I feel about these things. I may be a little bit like nicer or friendlier, but I'm not going to hide anything or lie about anything or say it's the best thing in the world. I'll be honest still, as you guys know, hopefully. All right, so basically pistol, as I've kind of talked about throughout this video, it's pretty nice. I think if you want just a stock gun to just not do anything with, I think this is a good choice. It's kind of essentially pre-upgraded from the factory. You already have an aluminum slide and an aluminum frame, and you have a really nice hop-up. This is probably the best hop-up that has ever came on a stock Hi-Capa, as far as I'm aware at least. And you get that out of the box, which is pretty sick. Now you do have some compatibility issues, but a lot of the important things are compatible. So if you want to upgrade a few things, you definitely can. At least the things that I feel like need to be upgraded are upgradable on this. But you can also, you don't have to upgrade it. Like, it's perfectly fine as it is. It just, like, for my personal guns, I like them to be a certain way. So I personally would upgrade a couple things, and those things that I want to upgrade are upgradable, which is nice, right? Now, if you want to do like heavy customization, it's probably not the best pistol to go with. You definitely can go with it, but the biggest issue is there's their whole like group 1 is what they call it. And if you want to upgrade any of those parts, it's going to be a bit of a pain. Like, it's going to be a lot of money and a lot of parts you have to change. But you definitely could do it if you want to. If you get this gun and you want to leave it stock, and then you decide later that you want to upgrade it, you definitely can. It just may not be a gun you want to buy specifically with the intent of upgrading everything on, right? And as for my personal opinions with this, I like the most annoying thing to me is this safety and fire writing on here. Like, I don't think we need to have that on there. Like, maybe put a sticker that we can remove. I don't need, like, once I've learned how to shoot a 1911, I don't need a reminder of how the safety works, personally. Also, me personally, I am not a fan of the extended slide catches. I like having a slide catch that is standard size. It's the way that I have always used the 1911. This gets in the way for me because when I shoot, right, my thumb is going to end up sort of on top of that. And if I shoot this while I'm holding it in like my normal grip, which I'll grip, obviously I would have my other hand on there too, but it is not going to catch the slide. Whereas if I like hold it weird where I don't touch it, it will catch. So I will be modifying this for myself. I'm just going to cut it off and make it into a normal slide catch, because the way that I have always shot 1911s is basically, obviously, you shoot it, and then when you reload, you put the magazine in, and then you take your support thumb and you hit it, and then you're good to go. And that's the way that I shoot it. So personally, I'm not a fan of the extension, but I do know that this is a very popular thing. A lot of people love the extension. I just do not like the extension. This side does have, it comes with a lot of white warning labels, but because they're aluminum, I was able to easily remove them. And I do have a video on how to do that, that I will link somewhere on this video for you to go watch. And it just basically is a chemical reaction that turns the aluminum black instead of being white from being laser engraved. So I was able to get rid of that. I would prefer if it didn't have the warning label, like warning, not a toy, wear eye protection. Like I don't need that. I know this is an airsoft gun. I would prefer if that was like a sticker or something, but obviously I think there may be some rules or whatever. I am, however, okay with having like the Cowl 6mm BB. I think that's kind of cool. I'm okay with the serial number. Although I did black them out just because I was doing it anyways, so I just got rid of them. I mean, you can still see them, but they're just black instead of being white now. And then that's the big thing with this is not it's not aluminum, or it could be aluminum, but it's not engraved. And I haven't gotten that off yet. I need to figure out how to get that off. If worse comes to worse, I'll just paint it, but hopefully I don't have to. I'm a fan of it being aluminum. I'm going to keep the slide and the frame stock because they're both perfectly fine. I don't see a reason I need to. I have my Gucci guns. I don't need to make this into a Gucci gun. I want this to just be a solid gun that I can have as another option. I would have preferred if this was maybe a glued set screw in the barrel instead of being a pin. Because I don't think I'm ever going to be able to take off this orange tip. If it were a set screw, I could heat it up and remove it. Or if the entire thing was glued, I could just heat it up and remove it. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get this out without destroying the barrel, which is unfortunate. But I mean, it gives me an excuse to use a 9-ball outer barrel, which I rarely ever use. I actually do like this system. I just don't use it because this barrel is not as like high quality as an Airsoft Masterpiece barrel, so normally I don't use these. And the iron sights are fine. We have a fiber optic front sight and the blacked out rear sight. It would be nice if it were compatible. I don't know why they chose to not be compatible. Hopefully in the future they make it compatible, but that's just how it is. I don't need to have them changed. I just would like the ability to, personally. But that's about all I got for you. I don't really have any other opinions that I can give at this time, as far as I'm aware. So I will let you guys go, I think. Have a nice day. Oh, that was terrible. Have a nice day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if this video was useful for you. And make sure you check out the link down below. That is a link to our Discord server, and you are welcome to join. All right, have a nice day.